Hey, it's Derek, and welcome out to Field to Fork Homestead. Today we're out in the Cushaw patch, and I got my father-in-law Jesse with me, and Alyssa's on the camera, and we're going to be gathering some Cushaw. Come in and check it out.
Those are a few that they've already picked.
The majority of them is all the way down here on the lower end, but they really done good this year. I'm just going to lay them out in the open, Jesse, and we'll come back and pick them all up. Get these good Cushaw gathered, we'll let Alicia do us a video on, she can do her part and make us a big Cushaw pie. Maybe we can get the recipe, we may even make a Cushaw cake. Come on out and take them down through the patch. Show them what all we got.
So, people don't really know, Cushaw is from the squash family. You can use it to make Cushaw pie, Cushaw cake, or you can cut it up, put it in the oven, and make it like you do your squash. You put you a little bit of some butter and some brown sugar on it, and bake it, and it tastes awful yummy.
It's awfully good with cornbread, and fried potatoes, soup beans, big old pork chop. I tell you what, it's some good eating. You can tell.
And if you're not from the south, from where we are, and you don't know what soup beans is that Derek was talking about, that is pinto beans. That's something that our, sometimes we have a little language barrier, and we call a pinto bean a good old soup bean. Sure done good.
Yeah, man. I'm especially proud of this one right here. I'm gonna put this one up for myself.
A lot of people like to decorate with Cushaw as well for fall.
Yeah, I seen one down here last night. Yeah, I seen it last night. That's the reason I want to go ahead and get them gathered up. Let's make another pile right here.
Gathering a Cushaw is a lot like gathering a pumpkin or a watermelon. They grow on the vine. And you normally let the vine die out, and then you can pick them.
Once you got any that you just ain't satisfied with, you can always feed them to the pigs.
That's what we do with a lot of our stuff when we get done putting it away, or
we get it going bad.
We get it to going bad, or if we give a lot of our stuff away as well. But if we just get so much that we've give it away and we've made and put away what we're going to put away, once it starts to go bad, our Mr. Pig gets it. And we do have pumpkins out through here in this field of vines and weeds. But they're still, what time they're still looking for Cushaw, I will get off here and we'll be back in just a little bit.
Yeah, come back.
Alrighty, we got everything loaded up, picked, and ready to go. we'll see you all in just a little bit. We may just do us a little recipe of what we normally do with these Cushaws.
If you put these in a cold place and like a block building or a root cellar, if you got something like that, these keep about all winter. That's what a lot of the old timers used to do, and they'd have a good snack all winter long. So we're gonna do like Celicia said, she's gonna do a little recipe here on these Cushaw pie, and we'll get right back with you.
See ya. Alrighty, and we are back. We just got back from the garden. I'm gonna show y'all how we end up baking these Cushaw, and I have a pumpkin as well. We're gonna bake them to put them away. We're outside. We have us a big nice sink set up. We like to cook out here most of the time just to keep from heating the house up. Derek's sitting over there and he's just gonna watch right now.
And you're gonna make a Cushaw pie and a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, we're gonna be making a Cushaw pie and pumpkin puree. So what we're gonna have is Cushaw puree and pumpkin puree. This is just another way to be sustainable, something that we're not having to buy from the grocery store. We're gonna make the Cushaw pie, and then with the pumpkin, we can make a pumpkin pie or
pumpkin roll.
Pumpkin roll. It's just pumpkin puree. Anything that you would use for that calls for pumpkin puree. So I've got my Cushaw and my pumpkin in here, and I'm gonna wash them off because you're gonna be cooking these. You're gonna be baking them. I'm sorry.
I'm just over here taking it easy. We got all those Cushaws at the house, and we got them unloaded. I tell you what, we had a real good harvest. This is the second
round
that we had. This is the second load of Cushaw that we've had.
You can show them if you want to.
I'm going to turn it around here and show them what time you're washing that. Cushaw pumpkin. We just got them in here and got them unloaded. And I don't know what I'm going to do with all these yet. I'm thinking about selling some of them. And I've gave them to the buddy some. And Alicia's going to make some Cushaw pies. And
we're going to put away as much as we can, or until we just get tired of doing it.
You're going to hand that over here and I'll dry him off.
And then whatever we don't have left, whatever we don't use, it's either going to go to Mr. Pig down there, or we'll try to sell it. We may even decorate, just never know.
Well, the trail ride's coming up, so we may take some for the trail ride for decoration. We may even fix some Cushaw over there.
Yeah, you never know about us. We're like blowing with the wind. You just never know. All right, so we've got them all washed off. Derek's going to dry it off for us, and we will be right back. We're going to turn the camera around. When we come back, we're going to be over at the stove.
All right, we're out here. Like Alicia said, we got us a stove set up here under the carport, and this is just for outside use. And she usually does all her baking inside, but it's nice to have something to cook on outside, just to, like she said earlier, keep them heating the house up. And we like when we kill us a hog or something like that, fry us a little skillet of liver and onions, or you never know. Heat chili up when we fix hot dogs outside, stuff like that. But this works real good for doing these Cushaw and these pumpkins. We just stick them in the oven out here and don't make so big a mess in the house. And but anyway, I'm going to cut this, and I'll let Alicia do she can gut them out and everything, but I'm going to go ahead and cut them to keep her from, that way she don't cut her hand or nothing like that. What you going to do on this Cushaw, there's a yellow jacket, them things is bad this year. But anyway, what you're going to do on this Cushaw, you're just going to cut you a square out of him, down on the big end. Just cut you a square out, a plug. Enough you can get your hand down in there. Cut you a square hole out of you. On my end there.
And everything is sanitized and cleaned before we use anything out here. Yeah. It's all wiped down.
But it's real nice to have a stove outside. Even some people use an old wood burning stove. I used one for a long time. Just an old pot belly stove. But anyway, you see I got my plug, and I'm gonna just lay these here and let Alicia gut them out. And what you want to do, and even this, now this pumpkin, we're going to do it different. We're just going to split it half and half. I'm going to cut the top of him here off. That'll go to the pig. We're just going to split it half and half. Or somewhat half and half.
Just right down the middle.
Right down the middle.
As middle as we can get.
Right, like that right there.
Yeah.
I'll let her gut them out and I'll get her a bucket. Because the pig will like all of them insides.
So, right here's a bucket.
I got one right over here, I already got stuff in it.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to take my spoon and I'm just going to get
As much of that out as you can.
all of the stuff that the kids like to play with. And try to cause as big of a mess as I can that I'm going to have to clean up.
Those pigs love that stuff right there. They really enjoy it.
Our hog that we have, he's so funny. You know, most animals that you get that you're thinking of butchering or putting away for meat or anything like that, in the back of your mind, you're just getting an animal and you're going to feed it every day, you're going to water it every day, and then when the time comes, you're going to off it and be done with it. But when you start feeding it every day, or with me, I get a little bit attached to it, and I tell you what, I love going down there and watching our hog eat. He has got, his favorite is watermelon and cantaloupe, from what I have figured out. He will go and he'll just smack them little jaws. It's so funny.
Now, since she brought that up, if you're going to get you a pig and you're going to feed him out to have pork chops and bacon and sausage, you know, before you commit to that, you need to be prepared to be able to, like she said, you know, when you get that animal, you're getting that animal too butchered. And as much as we like our animals and we take good care of them and we pride ourselves in them, well, in the end, we know that the reason that we're feeding that animal out is to sustain us. And you know, just like I said, you know, I'm not trying to be cruel, but, you know, you need to be prepared to. We
are meat eaters.
You know, when you get that animal, it's going to be eat, you know.
And the only thing that we can do before it's their time to go, is make sure that they're satisfied and they're happy and they are fed and they're not starved.
Right. But now on this pumpkin, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll talk back behind the scenes here. Alicia's gutting that pumpkin out and that Cushaw, and those are going to go in the oven on parchment paper. You're going to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. And when she gets them hauled out, she's going to put them in the oven. And the Cushaw is going to go in, and the pumpkin, they're going to go in together. But they're going to go in, the Cushaw is going to bake at 350 for 3.5 to 4 hours. And it's just going to stay in there overnight. And let it cool, turn your stove off and let it cool off in the oven overnight. And in the morning, you get it out and you'll pull it out and get your stuff out of it. You'll scrape the inside out. And we'll show that. But the pumpkin's going to go in there with it, but we're going to pull it out after an hour.
Derek opened the box.
And the pumpkin's going to come out after an hour, and it'll be ready to cool off and scrape the insides out of it. But she's getting that pumpkin ready. Looks like she's about got it ready to go in the oven. And it's going to go in on that parchment paper. It's going to go in upside down. Like that right there.
The whole side up.
Whole side up.
We don't have to put any type of butter or oil or anything like that down in this pan because we do have the parchment paper. So we have that. I don't have my oven turned on just yet, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it right back in there.
It don't so much matter. It's a good idea to preheat it if you can. If you can go ahead and turn it on, but it don't have to be preheated. But put it in at 350, and it's gonna stay in there. Like I said, the pumpkin will stay in there for about an hour after it preheats, and then the Cushaw is gonna stay in there for 3.5 to 4 hours, and then it's gonna be turned off and just rest in there overnight. Now with the pumpkin, you want to get as much out as you can. The inside, the Cushaw, you want to get as much as it as you can out too, but it don't so much matter as much as the pumpkin. And you can save those seeds. We got more than enough Cushaw to put up rather than worrying about the seeds right at the minute, but.
All right.
We will save some seeds for next year.
So this is what it's going to look like by the time that we get done. I'll finish holing this out.
Get him in the oven.
And we'll get him in the oven turned on, and we'll be back with in just a little bit. All right, and we're back. We got the Cushaw made. We let it stay in the oven at, what was it, 350?
350 degrees.
For 3 hours, and then we left it in the oven overnight to let it cool down.
3.5 to 4 hours.
3.5 to 4 hours. Okay, well. We left it in there overnight to let it cool down. It's the next day, and this is the Cushaw. This is what it looks like.
We had to work this today, so we pulled it out this morning and we put it in the refrigerator till we got home from work.
So now we're gonna scrape all the good stuff, all the guts out of it. You just take a spoon.
We should have brought in a bucket.
Yeah. You just start scooping it out. So the recipe calls for 2 cups. There will definitely be more than 2 cups in this Cushaw.
Here's something to put it in.
Okay. And what we will do with it is just put it in a jar or a container and use it in other recipes.
We may make some more pies.
Yeah, we may make some more pies.
We keep in the refrigerator for several days.
Yeah. We haven't water bath canned it to actually can it, but I'm sure you could. Okay. I'll just get out right now what we need for the recipe. And we'll get this in a little bit.
Should be 4 cups, right?
No, we're not going to double it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to put this right over here.
Is that 2 good cups?
Uh-huh.
I thought I done 4 cups last time.
Nope, it's 2 cups. Now the recipe that I'm using, this will be good for Cushaw pie.
Does that make 1 pie?
I don't know. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. But this pie, this recipe that we're doing, it will be good for Cushaw pie, or you can substitute the Cushaw for sweet potatoes or pumpkins. So this recipe is a multi-purpose recipe. So we have our bowl, and the first thing that I like to do, like any other recipe, is I like to cream my eggs. It calls for 2 eggs. And if we're speaking the truth about eggs, they are way too expensive. Straight up.
Because I know when I done this recipe last time, somehow wound up had enough for another pie, enough filling for an extra pie. So
Yeah, I can't remember if we doubled it or what we done.
But anyway,
Probably
this is the recipe, and if you want to double it, you can. But
Yeah, we'll have the recipe in the description. So if you all want, you all make it how you want to. So we're going to cream the eggs.
You're just gonna beat them up.
Huh?
You're just beating eggs.
Yep, just beat them up. The next thing that we're going to do after those get done is put in 2/3 cup of regular white sugar. Pour that in. Okay, so the next thing that the recipe calls for, this is going to be all the little ingredients. So you just put just a pinch of salt, and your pinch may be different than my pinch. A tablespoon of all-purpose flour. So we have that in there. The next things that we will be putting in there is ground cinnamon, and you put in 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. If I didn't spill it all over the counter. Okay. After the cinnamon, you put in 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then 1/4 teaspoon of pumpkin spice. Just throw that in there. Okay. Now, let's see. We need, I'm going to go ahead and do this. We need heavy whipping cream in it. So I like to shake this up. Open it up. You put in 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Did you ever make butter out of heavy whipping cream? No? You never did do that? And then, where this is wet, we'll just go ahead and put the vanilla in, and it calls for 1 teaspoon. So, just pour that in there. That has got all the ingredients out, either in the bowl or in a mixing cup somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead and in our egg and sugar mixture, I'm going to go ahead and pour the wet ingredients, the 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream and the vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. Give that just a little bit of a stir. And then we're going to put our dry ingredients, the flour, the cinnamon, nutmeg, and pumpkin spice, and salt. You did that, boy.
Dirt's usually right.
Shut up. Nobody asked. Just turn the mixer off to make sure that it's getting all the stuff around the edges of your bowl. Now, there's nothing wrong with just mixing this by hand, but I guess you can say I'm lazy. And I'll just use my mixer. Alright, now that that's all mixed in there, what we're going to do is we're going to put in our 2 cups of Cushaw now. I like to wait until last to put my fruit in. That way it don't get beat up too bad. But adding the pumpkin, it's just puree, so it doesn't really matter.
That needs to be mixed really well.
Pulling it off the sides again. And I like to clean my spatula off every time I do it. Alright, so the mixture is stirred in together real good. And this is what it looks like. See it, I'll bring it closer.
Hold it up.
Good.
There you go.
Okay. So, don't be alarmed when you get done mixing it and it's runny. That was our first worry, was it was way too runny. Don't be afraid of that. It's supposed to be. The heavy whipping cream in it and the flour in it is going to make sure that it thickens up once we get it in the heat. Now we cheated just a little bit and we bought pre-made pie crust.
You're gonna put those on a cookie sheet.
And yes,
before you fill them.
Yes. But we did cheat a little bit. Because making those pie crust is a lot of work. And like Derek said earlier, we worked today, so it's been a busy day. So, we're going to put our pie pan on a cookie sheet, and we're just going to pour it in there. Alrighty, and this is going to go into the oven. We have the oven on, we have it preheated at 425 for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we'll be back. We're going to turn that oven down to 350 for 45 to 50 minutes. And we'll see y'all in just a little bit. Alright, and we're back, and the pie is done. Me and Derek, we made another batch, and we put another pie in, and we done a little experiment on something too with the Cushaw pie mixture. But let's pull them out of the oven. We let them sit overnight, is why I'm not touching it with a towel. But here they are.
It was real late when we put them in.
Yeah, it was late when we put them in, and we turned the oven down from 425 to 450, and we let it stay in there for I think 50 minutes. And then once that was over with, we just turned the oven off and let them stay in there. We just let them cool down on their own time.
You don't have to do that though.
That's just what we done because it was late last night. You don't have to do that. You can get them out of the oven just as soon as they're done. You can put them on a cooling rack or whatever you want to do. But it's just what we done last night because it was late when we got done. This is the pie. and it's good and brown and it's ready to be eat. This is our little experiment. We made little Cushaw pie tarts, I guess you could say. But I'll put the recipe in the description, and it'll be your all's turn. I hope you all enjoy the recipe. Like and share, like and subscribe. Thank you so much.